my version of the ProRail base for launching rockets, made from 2-inch square aluminum that easily folds into place. The screws and bolts that bolt this together. There's no welding on this at all. This was a complete bolt together design so that if I need to replace something, modify something, that can easily be done on the fly, as it were. And there, if you'll pardon me while I fumble in my pockets, this is a one-man operation. Don't worry, got a spare. Always keep a spare. Always keep a spare. As you can see, ProRail base has a very large footprint for stability on the ground. Got my washer back. And this design is very simplistic, very light to carry, and another little nut and bolt design here. And a large wing nut. The rail base is open for business. Now, a lot of people will argue that something that sits flat on the ground cannot be set up so that it can be adjusted for uneven ground. Well, it's light enough that if it's not done here, we'll move it here. We'll move it there. Get it to where it needs to be. And the other argument is this design does not allow for being able to angle away from or into the wind. Well, I'm of the mindset that I launch into the blue yonder, straight up. But I do allow for up to a minimal 5 degrees of tilt away from, say, the launch line. And then your rocket, if you've built your fins correctly, will get stability going into the wind and will fly into the wind and will land theoretically not in the crowd. So anyways, this is the launch base. What we mount to this is a rail only. I do not use rods anymore. So next we will take a look at the rail. The rail is mounted very easily. I've got a rail button here that allows the rail to guide on smoothly, and this screw here needs to be replaced, but the rail will slide onto this, and then there's a wing nut on the back side here that I will spin down, and it will tighten this down, locking the rail in place. And the rail will rest against this aluminum bracket right here. It'll sit on there solid. So everything about this design has stability in mind. The rail is a very simple extrusion that has slots on either side, so you can use this all around. Judging by the dirt and the grime on here, this one has been used extensively in different locations. To mount the rail, as said, you guide it onto the rail button, down through the screw, and it rests right there, and then you just tighten this down until it locks it in place. And then when you're ready to load a rocket, you release this hardware, lay it down on the steady rest, and then you can load your rocket onto the rail. The rail base is made from a 2-inch square tube that I picked up at onlinemetals.com, and then the rest is just scrap pieces that I milled some holes into. I've got the wrong hardware in. As you can see, this is rusting from use out at the launch pad, but I can replace all of this with stainless steel and everything will be better. And you can see here the pad has a very large footprint here. We're talking on the order of 6 foot in diameter, and has a large rail here and rail base for stability. And of course the rail, for those of you that still use rods, when you go to a rail you will learn to appreciate slotted technology. Again, for adjustability, the pad is, you just lift the pad up, turn it around till you find a good solid ground to set it on. Simplest form of stability. You know, there's stability close by. You just got to find it. The only adjustment is this slot, which allows for about 5 degrees of angle that you can angle away from the crowd. But you shouldn't be flying on windy days, and you shouldn't be flying dangerous projects. You should be flying everything that is stable, and you should be flying from a stable platform. And in my opinion, this is one of the more stable platforms. Low to the ground, low CG. This is the ProRail base design, originally designed by John Coker, and this is just merely my variation. Again, nothing is welded, everything is bolted together, so I can replace any component at any time or modify anything that I need to without any cutting torches or anything of the sort. Thanks, YouTube.